Good evening. This is the Ask Dr. Renee show. For those that have never watched the show before, the show is here to motivate and inspire you to live. I'm bringing this show to you of people who are and now life is short. This is not a dress rehearsal. And why are you waiting to start living? Live life now. If this is your first time watching our show, some of our past guests have included Paul Carrick Brunson, Elvira Guzman of The Elvira Guzman Show, Shanti Das, the hip-hop professional of Press Reset Entertainment, Cupid, R&B singer, line dance king, Cupid Shuffle and Q Robics, Felicia Butterfield Jones of Ween. And today is special because, first of all, for those that have watched the show in the past, you know that we were off of YouTube for a couple months. So now we're back. So yay, we're back. And today is Trek Tuesday. So we're going to start doing every Tuesday, we'll feature a different entrepreneur to talk about their business as well as tips in their, in their journey as to becoming an entrepreneur and becoming successful entrepreneurs. So I know there's a lot of people that are very interested in the entrepreneur space. And so I thought this would be a pretty cool way to introduce you to new businesses that you might want to patronize, but also to give them a platform to help people understand exactly what goes into being an entrepreneur. So we are so happy to have Teneshia Jackson Warner today. She was recently, as in 2 weeks ago, on the Steve Harvey Show. She's one of the keynote speakers at the Act Like a Success conference that he holds every year. And she's going to tell us all about her project, the Dream Project, which is going into its 4th year in April. And my sister and I actually attended last year, and it was amazing. And if you know us, then you know how amazing it was because we can't stop talking about it. So we hope to see all of you there. And if you stay till the end, we are going to give you a discount code so that you too can go to the Dream Project on a little bit of a discount. So Teneshia, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Hello. Thank you for having me yet again. This is my second time on the Dr. Renee Show, and I'm really excited to be here today.
Yes, if you missed the previous show, it actually happened. Isn't this funny, Teneshia? A year ago today. So she was on a year ago today, and she told us her journey to living the life she deserves, which is an amazing journey if you have not heard it, because she's done a keynote several places, blog her and all sorts of places. If you have not heard it, please watch the show. It was excellent. But today, like I said, we're going to focus on the business. We have a bit of an echo.
I'm okay.
Okay.
I don't hear it. Okay.
So Teneshia, I find your story to be so motivating and inspiring every time I hear it. Can you please tell us what happened in your life that made you decide to live the life you deserve?
All right. I'll give you the short version, okay? So as you know, I actually started my career in computer science. I actually worked at IBM Global Services. I was there for about 5 years, and I had a big aha moment. And that moment was I realized that I chose a career basically based on earning potential, with little regard for passion. I was actually working on my master's, and one of the instructors basically had us do an assignment to really examine the determining factors that drove all of our decisions leading up to that point. And for me, it was a pivotal moment in my career journey because I realized after doing that assignment that I basically chose career paths based on earning potential. So from that point forward, for me, I decided that money was not enough as it relates to directing my career. I wanted something more. And I really started at that point on a journey to try to determine, well, what is it that I'm passionate about? What is my purpose? And at that point, I tried to align my profession and purpose to have a more of a fulfilling path. So that's sort of the big aha that led to me changing career paths. From there, some of the things I realized I was really passionate about included creativity, organized projects, entertainment. I read one of Russell Simmons' books during that time. The name of the book was Life and Death. And for me, at that point, I really decided, well, I want to make a career change. I want to transition into more of a creative field. And I was even willing to work for no fee in exchange for an opportunity to make that happen. Ironically, I got a chance to meet Russell Simmons, and I pitched myself to him and pretty much told him, hey, listen, I'm willing to work for you for no fee in exchange for an opportunity to learn. I did that not only one time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, many times, to a point where he said, hey, listen, I haven't seen persistence like this in a very long time. I'm extremely curious to see which one you're going to be. Show up at my office on Monday morning. And so that was my big start in terms of a career change. Worked there for a number of years. And it eventually led to me, forming and building EGAMI. So that's the background around how was EGAMI Consulting Group born.
So, first of all, a lot of people have trouble figuring out exactly what is their purpose, what is their passion. Do you have any tips to give these people so that they can figure out exactly what they can do to go figure that out?
Well, I would say to kind of take pressure off of yourself. I've never met a person that said, hey, I woke up this morning and discovered my purpose. Finding your purpose is a journey. And I think you have to be patient with yourself to sort of let it unfold. And so rather than putting the pressure on yourself to find your purpose today, open yourself up to say, hey, listen, I'm willing to go on a journey to discover what my purpose may look like, and give yourself the time to let it evolve. Another thing that I would tell anybody that is kind of looking to see, well, what is their purpose? Be willing to follow what you're curious about. Because I really do believe that whatever it is that you're curious about, you really have like clues along the way. So for me, when I was reading this book, it was very interesting to me, right? And I decided to, okay, well, let me see what else can I do? Or let me see what else am I interested about? So follow what it is that you're curious about is one thing that I would definitely say, and to give yourself room and time to let your purpose unfold.
That is very key, because a lot of people are like, well, what am I supposed to be doing? So you need to figure that out. I think that is very important. So please tell everyone exactly what is EGAMI Consulting Firm.
So EGAMI Consulting Group is a multicultural marketing firm. We are based in New York. We work with Fortune 100 brands to really roll out national campaigns to reach diverse audiences. So we will work with a corporation that desires to reach multicultural audiences across the nation. I always start with the brand with really asking them very probing questions around what's your brand purpose? How does your brand uniquely meet the needs of others? And what is the intersect point between what your brand stands for and what consumers are looking for, or consumer passions? Once we kind of zone in on what that looks like, we're able to build really, really engaging, meaningful, fun campaigns for the brand.
So EGAMI Consulting, you guys have amazing clients. Tell some of the clients that you do have currently.
Well, I'll tell you some of the ones that I'm able to say.
I understand.
Some of them I'm unable to say. We work with a leading consumer packaged goods company. That's one of our number one clients. Another one, we work with technology partners such as Verizon Wireless. We have spirits brands as well as partners. So there is a company by the name of Banfi that has a number of brands within its portfolio. And one of those brands that we work with is Rosa Regali, which is an Italian sparkling wine. And the list really goes on, but those are some of the top ones.
So first of all, how did you, because if you guys watched the first episode, you know that Russell Simmons was her first client. So how did you determine, like, I know that it was difficult for you to end that relationship. So like, where was that in the beginning stages of the company that you decided, okay, now I can go and I can get another client?
Well, again, to your point, Russell Simmons was the first client. And even with that, it wasn't traditional. After volunteering for a while with Russell, he said, hey, listen, I really, really want to make you an offer and come work for me. I said, Russell, you don't want to do that. You want to hire my company. He went away for Europe for 2 weeks. And, he told me, I didn't even realize you had a company. He had to go on a business trip. And when he went away, I incorporated. So I really took advantage of that opportunity that was before me, because I knew if there was any client that you wanted to have, Russell Simmons was a good start. So he was our only client for, I would say, about 3 to 4 years. And it really was, again, me paying attention to my spirit, me really paying attention to what is it that I'm interested in. There was a period where I kind of felt that the things that we were doing for Russell, we mastered, I knew it, and I started to miss corporate America. So I left corporate America thinking I'd never go back, and was sort of completely immersed in this creative field. And after working in a complete creative field for a while, I had an itch, and that itch was, hey, I miss structure, I miss corporate. So at that point, I let a few of my relationships know, if you know any corporate brands that are looking for project managers, are looking for partners to execute projects, let me know. And ironically, during that time, one of my friends called me and told me that the CEO of Johnson's was actually looking for a consultant to sort of advise that company on should they be paying attention to the urban consumer, and if so, what should they be doing to engage with urban high school students. And so I told him, hey, listen, let me talk to him. And I started working with that company. And that was really the big aha. So with Johnson is one of the leading product providers of U.S. Of jewelry in U.S. high schools. And it was under that partnership that we did a signature class ring with Beyonce. We did another signature class ring with Kimora. And it was all around, how do we make education and graduating cool again? And the project was a huge success. Beyonce's class ring, of course, was the #1 selling class ring, because that is the way B can do it, only B, right? And so once that class ring was a top performer, and EGAMI sort of was the liaison between sort of urban pop culture, the right celebrities, as well as having the insights as to how should this company think about engaging that consumer. Again, another really, really big aha. And that aha was, this is it. This is what I want to do, and I want to continue to do this and replicate it for other companies. So again, paying attention to your interests, paying attention to what is it that you're curious about, you really can't go wrong in doing that.
And I mean, you're yourself.
Uh-oh,
So,
Dr. Renee, it's a little bit of an echo.
Okay. Not sure why.
Okay, that's better.
Okay.
Okay.
So, so how was the first year, and when did you decide, okay, I need to hire employees?
Oh goodness. Again, some of the things that I did and the way I approach business was definitely not your traditional way. Really, what happened is I got so many contracts, and it was at a point that I knew I needed to bring on help to support. So one of my colleagues that I've worked with for years, she's really served as my right hand, Allison Roan. At the time with Johnson's, after getting that account, she started to work with me on that account. We started to get other accounts in the spirits category, or other education partners. And really the work sort of demanded when the work was, much greater than what Allison and I could do. We brought in another partner and another partner. And luckily, my husband and I, we are business partners as well. So my husband had sort of been there along the way, kind of providing guidance and support of when we need to bring on an additional team member, and what that looks like. So to answer your question, work truly did kind of dictate when we were going to hire an employee. We kind of scaled the business based on the work that was in queue. So we hired to the business.
Okay. I know a lot of people, that's a big thing for them. If you would like to ask questions, as long as you are logged into Google+, there is an option in the upper right-hand corner. You'll see some boxes, and tap those boxes, and then I guess I need to point this way. Yeah, somewhere over here. Okay, but you'll tap the boxes. You'll see the word Q&A. Tap Q&A, and then you can type in your questions, or you can tweet questions to ask Dr. Renee, or you can type them in at YouTube, and our executive producer will get them over to us. So what is the lesson you think it took you the longest to learn in your business?
Oh boy. Let me think about this. I would say it's really, I would probably say valuing diversity of thought and getting the right people on what I call the right seats in the bus. So that's critical to have with your team members, to have team members that bring different opinions to the table. If you look around and everybody sort of has the same thought process as you, if they approach projects the exact same way, then that's a big signal that you probably need to have diversity of thought to surround you. And that was a big lesson for me. So I'm a very creative person. That's one of my gifts. I'm also a project manager, but one thing that I am not is a financial guru. So, you know, it took me a while to realize I needed to bring in a very, very highly competent chief financial officer. I had financial team members to work with me before, but there was a point in our business that the level of financial support that I had, we kind of outgrew that, and I needed to bring in a really, really savvy chief financial officer. So again, the lesson, the hardest lesson for me was really valuing diversity of thought and knowing when to let go of someone and or bring on the right team member with the right diversity of thinking that the business needed at the time.
That is very interesting, but that's true. You can't have everyone thinking the same thing, or how will you grow? So now tell us all about the Dream Project and how it came to be, and exactly what can people look for at the Dream Project?
The Dream Project. So the Dream Project is, as you can probably tell from my smile, it's one of our passion projects. The firm launched the Dream Project 4 years ago, and basically it was our way to support small business owners, entrepreneurs, as well as professionals in providing them with motivational dreamers that would share their story with them, but most importantly, sharing with them tools and resources that they can use, you know, to grow their business on a day-to-day basis. How it came about, we basically had a lot of different small business owners that would come to us and say, hey, listen, I'm trying to do this. How should I go about doing it? Based on my experience as a minority woman business owner, I would give advice. And we started to get quite a few people coming to us. And, you know, we basically said, hey, we should create a forum where we invite all of these people at the same time and kind of just pour into them. So 80% of the year, we are working with Fortune 100 accounts, global brands. And this is our one time of year that we can take the thinking that we apply on Fortune 100 brands and make that information accessible to entrepreneurs and small business owners for them to apply those same strategies in their business. This year, we have an amazing lineup Jennifer Fleiss, which is the founder of Rent the Runway. She's going to be there and kind of sharing her personal story. We have Miss Robbie from Oprah Winfrey's network, Sweetie Pies. She is going to be there and sharing her story. Magic Johnson, I mean, what an amazing business savvy mind, entrepreneur icon. He is also coming to sort of share his story and key learnings. We have experts coming in, marketers from, again, Fortune 100 brands, how to build an all-star brand. We have representatives from Facebook, from Google, that will be sharing digital strategies and what does that mean for entrepreneurs and or professionals that's looking to build their platforms. We have a session called Creators of Change. So if you've ever had a nonprofit idea, and not just a nonprofit idea, but if you have an idea that you think is world changing, or you feel that you have a calling to sort of bring forth a purpose-inspired mission in the world, we're also bringing in iconic change agents to share their story and tell us how did they start these organizations. For the faith-based community, we have an amazing session called Good Idea or God Idea. And it's really all around how do you bring in your values and principles and sort of intertwine that in the core of your business values. So there's an author that I read early on in my career. His name is Larry Julian, and he wrote this book called God is My CEO. And it truly did shape my leadership style. I've pulled on that book so much over the years. Larry is going to be a part of that session, Good Idea, God Idea. We have associate pastors coming in from Joel Osteen's church, who will also be sort of leading that conversation. And we have another one, CEO Secrets to Success, where we have dynamite executive women that will be sharing their personal stories of how they sort of navigate corporate America, as well as CEOs that are leaders of their entrepreneur businesses, sharing how did they get their platform started. So that's just some of the content. It's going to be a jam-packed day. It starts at 10 o'clock. We're going to end at 8. And I would love to invite the entire community watching this to come out and join us. Dr. Renee and her sister will be there, of course.
Well, you know, we were so excited about Magic Johnson because, you know, he is a fellow Spartan. Go green. So we are very excited that you had one of our favorite alumni to come to this year. I said, Lisha, did you see Magic Johnson? So I'm very excited. I think I've seen him at, it was a conference here in Chicago I saw him at, but I haven't seen him in a while, so it'll be great to see him.
Awesome.
So we have a question on the floor. How did you prepare yourself to leap?
All right. The leap. You call it leap, I call it stretch.
Oh, well, you know, we still wear our bracelets.
Oh,
All dreamers stretch.
How did I prepare myself? Let me think about this for a minute. So many times in my career over the past 10 years, I've had to leap. It wasn't just one leap, but I found that a dreamer's journey actually requires for continuous leaps. And I would say the one question that I sort of pose to myself a lot is, what's at risk if I don't, right? And there's a quote, and I don't want to mess this quote up, but basically it talks about when the risk to remain closed in a bud is far more painful than opening and blossoming. And again, I know I may have messed that up just a little bit, but it's about really assessing what's it cost if you don't, right? So once I get clear on that, like, can I think about waking up here in this same place 5 years from now? What would I say to myself, 5 years from now? Would I be disappointed in myself? Would I want to know, why didn't you go for it? Would I be happy if I stay in the exact same spot? Kind of running through all of those questions. And it always, for me, led to I wouldn't be fulfilled. I wouldn't be happy. And I was almost selling out on myself if I didn't go for it. And once I get clear on that, I just do it. And I can't tell you that I'm not scared. I can't tell you that fear isn't there. It's really about understanding how do you move forward in the face of fear, and kind of practicing that muscle, because you got to practice that quite a bit. Sorry if you just hurt my dog, because you have to practice that quite a bit, and understanding how do you move forward in the face of fear.
Yeah, everyone had All Dreamers Stretch last year. That was the theme, and so that's what the bracelet is that I wear. A lot of people ask me, "What is that?" So now they know. But yeah, that is so true. That you just have to move, and one of the ladies that started Blog Her was speaking at something in Chicago, and she mentioned that one of the other women, her mom said, "If it doesn't kill you or harm anyone else, then why wouldn't you just do it?"
That's a good one.
And I was like, and I'm sure I butchered that too, but it was something like that. And I said, that makes perfect sense. If it's not going to harm you and it's not going to harm anyone else, then just try.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with trying, If you don't, and if you don't, it's like you're sitting there like, oh, I coulda, woulda, I shoulda. No, you should just do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I keep telling people, start living life now. Don't wait because until may never come. Or something else might happen and messes up until, a lot of people believe, and I believe too, that what's for you is for you. But if you don't line yourself up where God wanted you to be, so I think a lot of people don't realize that.
Exactly.
So it's for you, but you didn't go stand in front of that door when he told you to. You went a different way, and so you missed out what was on the other side of the door. So, that's why I just want people to live the life they deserve. And I think part of it is doing exactly what you're supposed to do. Some people are not meant to be entrepreneurs. I tell people that every day. I work harder now than I ever did in my life, but it's rewarding. And I'm sure you would agree, even, working for.
Uh-oh, Dr. Renee, you went in and out.
Now probably.
Hello?
Sure, you put in a lot of hours, and now you probably put in more.
Absolutely. The entrepreneur journey is, it demands a lot. I was reading Sarah Blakely's story recently, and she was saying when she started the company, she was everything. She was the model, she was the accountant, she was the CEO, she was human resources, she was the salesperson. She wore all of the hats, and she said she actually kept a notebook of here's the stuff that I don't want to do one day, but until she got to a point where she could hire someone, she just had to do all of it. So, you got to be up for what it comes with, but it's so rewarding on the other side. Again, I can't say that it's not challenging, but it's something so rewarding about waking up and knowing that you're leaving your mark on the world, that you are working for yourself, that you are employing others, that you're partnering with clients that, again, I call partners, to do amazing work to support them. So it's really rewarding as well.
Awesome. So can you please tell us, what is your definition of success?
Oh, what is my definition of success? For me, it would probably be, is my soul happy? Is my soul free? And a check-in with the essence of me. I think we only get one life. And I think life is about expressing yourself. And in order to express yourself, you have to be self-aware, but you have to do the work to know what is it that your soul desires to express. And you got to kind of be in sync with that. I also think it's a journey that's about co-creating with God, and expressing sort of in this relationship with God as well. And so for me, when it's all said and done, I want to make sure that I've walked my path, the path that God has ordained for me. And I want to make sure that I've chosen a path that has given my soul the freedom to express. And if that's not holding up, then I need to rework the business model, and or I need to rework some things in life so that I'm truly expressing. My dream for my life is that at the end of the day, when I leave the world, that I'm a fully expressed human being.
That is the only way to live. That's why I keep trying to tell people. You know.
Uh-oh, Dr. Renee, you went in and out a little bit.
Does the Dream Project plan to travel?
Oh, I would love for the Dream Project to travel. I remember in the early stages, I think it was year one, you sent a tweet that said Dream Project Chicago. And it was right after. Yes, I remember that. So I would love for the Dream Project to travel. For us, it's about getting the right brand partners that would enable that. So hopefully we will bring the right partners on that can support us in expanding and going to additional markets.
That would be awesome. I have some friends that are like, they can't get to Atlanta. I'm like, you guys need to go. I've been telling you this for over a year to go.
Where are they? Are they in Chicago? Where
I have some in Chicago, and then I was on Periscope today, and we have people in Florida, which Florida's not that far.
Okay.
You know.
Well, tell Florida they can make their way.
Get in the car, exactly.
Yes, Atlanta. But Chicago, let's put that on our target list for the future.
Yeah. So have you always, this is another question, have you always taken risks like this, or was there a moment when you decided this is it, I have to take a risk?
The first big risk that I can remember taking was quitting my job without having another job. So it was pretty big. But that was my first big risk. Up until that point, everything was sort of kind of going along with what society expected, or at least what I thought I was supposed to be doing. So I thought, go to college, get a good job. That's what my grandmother used to remind me of, a good job. And then you get it and you sort of work your way up the ladder. And that was sort of the image that was presented to me. And I was on that track. I was on that path. But once I realized that path wasn't for me, and then having the courage to say, well, what is your path? And you got to go find it. Again, that was the first really, really big risk. And after making the first leap, it taught me so much. Like, one, if you jump, it works out. It really does. And again, it also taught me that the leap, the stretch, you're not going to be able to remove the wall of fear that's there. You just have to still do it anyway. And once I practiced that the first time, it's funny, I feel like life, when it realized, hey, we got a risk taker here. Life just kept bringing me more opportunities to jump over and over and over again. As a matter of fact, I'm at a place now that if something, I say maybe every 1 to 2 years, if something does not come up that I'm nervous about or scared, or it requires me to leap anyway, then I question myself. Are you playing it too safe? Have you become complacent in some areas? Because I can pretty much set my clock. The life that I'm living now, it just brings me the opportunities to jump over and over again.
That's cool. What do you envision the Dream Project to grow to?
Oh man. Well, I think a number of things. I'm very clear on what the intention is for Dream Project, and the ultimate intention is to support others to live the life they have imagined and to birth dreams and creations that are within them. So I remain focused on that as the ultimate intention and goal for the platform. And I'm not so attached to the format of the platform. So I would say, again, you know, we're definitely still open to doing events and you know, the symposium type conference that we're currently doing, but I'm also open to growing what that experience looks like. So potentially maybe a digital series where we're bringing some of the content to our audiences on a more frequent basis. TV, I'm even open to, you know, determining what could the platform look like in a TV format. And then outside of that, continuing to work with our brand partners. So finding the right partners that would like to partner with us in supporting others to have these dreams turn out. And so maybe even building out more robust brand partnerships where the Dream Project can support other brands in working with entrepreneurs and or other brands that's looking to empower entrepreneurs.
That I can't wait to watch. I mean, last year was our first Dream Project, but like she said, I knew the first two and, you know, had occurred, but I'm very excited to see what happens with the Dream Project because it is amazing. And like she's mentioned before, breakthroughs happen when you're sitting in the room with believers and dreamers like that. I literally thought of my entire live event while I was sitting there. Wow. And I thought of the sponsors and everything was like, oh my God, it just came to me. So now to execute, but I just been a little bit busy, but it'll get done. It'll get very soon. So the Dream Project, tell people, like, you know, the growth. So from the first year, you know, how many people did you have and who were some of your keynotes to what you have going on, you know, to now we know what's going to happen this year, but just so people can understand the amazing, you know, caliber of people that come.
Yes. So year one, we had Russell Simmons, Kathy Hughes, who else? Oh, Will Packer was also there year one. Year two, we had Damon John from Shark Tank, Kevin Lowes, Randall Pickett. Last year, we had Desiree Rogers, India Ari, Soledad O'Brien. So every year, we continually attract amazing, iconic entrepreneurs that are willing to share their stories. From an attendee perspective, we usually range between 300 to 400. And that's what we're also anticipating again this year. And the attendees are not only from the Atlanta area, but many travel in from different parts of the nation. We have community partners that are absolutely amazing. Some of our community partners are also national as well as local community partners. The Urban League of Atlanta, the City of Atlanta, NMSDC, WeBank. Those are national partners, but we partner with the local areas, their local chapters. And the list really goes on. So that gives you a little bit of the footprint. And we're excited. Each year it changes a bit, but we continue to bring amazing talent.
Definitely. And I mean, it's great networking. If nothing else, it's great networking with everyone else that's in the room, including the keynotes who usually walk around too, and you could talk to them as well. So, and then last year you guys did the mastermind that came out of that, which I thought was just amazing to a lot of small business owners, a selected few.
Yes, we offered a 2-day mastermind, and the mastermind was basically, I brought in my entire team to teach small business owners more in depth some of the high level concepts that we cover at Dream. So we did things from brand building. We also built out social media plans for small business owners. We provided them with a marketing plan that they could utilize from a 12-month period, really looking at who their target audience is it the right target audience? Really high level questions. What should your business be thinking about not only today, but 5 years from now? We push them to examine strategic partnerships, where there are some strategic partners that could really propel their growth. We had them sort of take a look at their competitors. So understanding what is it that your competitors are offering that you currently offer and or that you do not, and what does that mean for you in terms of really determining what the white space is and what you should be offering from a product and service standpoint. I brought in my chief financial officer, Camelia Campbell, who again, I think I have the best chief financial officer in the world. She really got down in the numbers, teaching a session on understanding numbers, all the way down to, P&L statements, budgets, understanding every single operating cost and what does it mean to account for everything if you're going to run a profitable business in the end. She's a teacher by nature, so her session was one of the most popular sessions. And the list really goes on, but it's a 2-day mastermind. We gave it everything we had. We really did sort of take the learnings and the teachings that we do with our clients on an annual basis. And we challenged ourselves, what is the most that we can teach in this amount of time to set them up for success? And we had some rock stars come out of the stretch. One young lady by the name of Tiana Patrice, she wrote a book coming out of the stretch. And it is entitled 52 Ways of Fearless. Something like that, very close. It's 52 Shades of Fearless. Yeah, that was it. And her book is doing well. She's a best-selling author. We had another owner of a catering business called Sweet Dreams. And he's landed, A-list celebrities. He's landed major accounts. The Georgia World Congress Center. He actually landed that as an account. And a few more major accounts since that time. Who else in the stretch did really well? We had another young lady who is a buyer right now for a major corporation, but she sort of took her key learnings of what she does in her job on a day-to-day, and she's launched another company as well called Eighth Reign. So I'm very proud of the stretch participants and the ground that they've taken this past year.
That is wonderful. And we laughed because the Georgia World Congress Center is where the Dream Project was held. So for him to get that contract is pretty funny because that's where we were. We have another question. How many mentors do you have?
I have different mentors, and let me explain to you my approach with mentors. I think you really need to be very flexible in how you look at the definition of a mentor. Oftentimes people will go up to another individual and say, will you be my mentor? Well, what does that really mean? And in the traditional sense, it means, will you teach me this? Will you spend endless hours? Will you groom me and watch me go from this level to the next level? When in reality, oftentimes, executives and or iconic entrepreneurs, they may not have that type of time. So I've been very flexible in the definition, in the way that I define mentorship, and I leave myself open to mentor moments. And that's not, it doesn't demand as much from the individual that you're looking for. So from that sense, I've had mentor moments with people that have shaped my career or choices. And these were really moments. So I'll give you somebody, for example, Valerie Burton. Valerie Burton is an author and she's written so many different books. And one year we were at a conference together, and I told her this was a big mentor moment. I was telling her that I was experiencing writer's block. I was working on a book called Profit with Purpose, and it was a multicultural marketing guide. And I was thank you, Dr. Renee. I was experiencing writer's block with that book. And I went on and on to tell her, my heart desires to write for the people, but the publishing company really was requiring me to write to a marketer or a CEO, right? So it was very niche focused, right? And I was complaining, and she said, no, what you're going to do is realize that every CEO and every marketer is a person. And so write to them as if it was a person on the other end of the book that's reading this book. Because as long as I was thinking about it like I'm writing to a marketer, I wasn't able to sort of fully express myself in the way that I wanted to write. And that little distinction freed me up so much. And I really will say, because of that mentor moment, that wasn't even a planned mentor moment, Dr. Renee, you're able to hold that book right now. And it was big of Valerie. And I don't even know if she realizes that mentor moment shifted me to the point where I knew I was going to finish that book. Again, that's just one example. I can tell you so many more of Dr. Bruce Wilkinson. He was a speaker last year. Oh, sorry, Dr. Ray. Sorry, Dr. Renee. That's my dog. My husband's moving around. Michael, you can't come in and out because he'll bark. Okay, sorry. So I was saying, Dr. Bruce Wilkinson, he was a speaker last year at Dream Project. And I followed up with him, and he and I went back and forth over email. Well, there's a particular email that he wrote me, and he gave me some advice about where I was in the business and how I needed to approach the next step. Because my question to him was, how do you nurture and launch multiple dreams at one time? And it was because EGAMI is a dream, and then we have a new entity that we birthed, the Dream Project, and I found myself sort of holding two dreams. And I didn't know, how do you do both? And I wrote him, and he wrote me back this email. We're going back and forth. And the last email that Dr. Bruce Wilkinson wrote me was filled with so much knowledge that I kid you not, it's been about 10 months. I haven't had to write Dr. Bruce anymore because I'm still trying to learn what he put in that email 10 months ago. It's filled with just that much wisdom. I've probably gone back to the email over 100 times. You know, when I'm really trying to understand, how do you do it? What do I need to do? And I go back and I reread it. And so again, do I need to call Dr. Bruce Wilkinson 10 different times when he's now on his 12th dream? No, but that mentor moment, I still pull from it out of that email. So to answer the question, I have a number of mentors, but I really do have an open and flexible definition around what mentorship looks like. And I look for the mentor moments.
That is very interesting. I've never heard it put that way. So that was really interesting. And here's Dr. Bruce Wilkinson's book too. So here's the book, and here's The Dream Giver. And of course, you guys probably know Bruce Wilkinson from The Prayer of Jabez, which is sitting here as well. But
I'm so happy that you have both of those. Of course, oh, man.
Yeah, I was like, I should have bought it there. I didn't buy it there, but I bought it when I got home. So here's The Prayer of Jabez. And you see, I'm very well read, obviously. But here's Teneshia's book. You guys, this book was amazing. She tells her story in it, and she literally is explaining how to profit with purpose. And it's a great book. So please, you guys, go pick it up. It's a great book. So Teneshia, the last thing I want to talk to you about is the fact that you are, like myself, a Christian, and I know faith is a very large part of your company and of you. And, you know, a lot of companies and CEOs and executives would, you know, not look good, you know, would shy upon that and not think that's a good idea. But I know for you, it's important. So can you explain how that works for you?
Again, as I told you, somebody who really, really shaped my leadership style through a mentor moment, and that was Dr. Larry Julian. And he wrote this book, God is My CEO. And, you know, even when I started this entire journey, for me, it was definitely not just a business journey. It was very much so a spiritual journey, because I felt that I was being directed by God to get me on a purposeful path, or my purpose path. So, you know, as I look back, I feel like it was God and myself the entire time. But there was a point, you know, I had taken this leap of faith. I trusted God, prayed so much through the entire journey, and he was just delivering over and over again. Well, there was this point when Russell named me general manager of Rush Communications, and I was still fairly young. You know, I'd never led a company. And so the first thing I needed was, I wanted to seek out, how do I want to lead? What type of leader do I want to be? And that book, God is My CEO, really did marry the Christian principles and the things that I believed from my faith perspective, and how you can take that and apply that in your leadership style. And it really was servant leadership style. So it's being very much so aware that you're serving. Your service that you're doing is serving others and serving the world. And so I've kept that sort of as the foundation. I always go back to, you know, very simple questions, and that's, God, why am I here? And how does what I have to offer, the gifts that you've placed in me, the skills that you've placed in me, how will those gifts, or how would you like those gifts to uniquely serve others and uniquely serve the world? And as long as I have that open dialogue with God and let him lead the way, it really means that everything, it's pulled through every action. And it's also pulled through in what the company is, what the company stands for, and what we're doing. We've now attracted other purpose-inspired employees. My chief financial officer, Camelia Campbell, she's an amazing woman of God. And she's also very much so committed to leading a life of purpose and following God. And so again, just by who we've been, and now we are attracting employees that are also looking for something greater, or looking for something outside of themselves. They're looking for something with a higher purpose. And for me, that's God. So if that answers your question,
yes.
Okay.
Definitely. So quickly, could you give 3 tips every entrepreneur should know?
3 tips every entrepreneur should know. Tip number 1 is know that you were made to create. And so this is kind of giving a little bit of a hint away for Dream Project 2016. But our theme this year is Unleash the Creator Within. And it's really grounding all of the dreamers that will be in the room, that we were made to create things, ideas, and bring forth what is not. And so that's tip number 1. Know that you're equipped, know that you're designed, and the essence of who you are. Your creator made you to be a creator, and understand that, and kind of go out and urgently create those things that you're being called to manifest. Number 2, I would say embrace failure, and know that it is a part of the journey. I was reading a book recently, and in Silicon Valley is one of the only places that failure is worn like a badge of honor. And the reason why it's worn like a badge of honor is because it also means that there has been learning, that's someone that has a lot of key learnings. And so there is not a single dreamer that you will see that's at, you know, a place that you aspire to be that has not failed. So embrace failure. I would even say set yourself a fail ratio. If you're going to do something that has never been done before, you're going to experience failure. So become comfortable with that. And the last thing that I would say is collaboration. Nothing great has ever been done alone. And understanding how do you build team structure and how do you build collaborations. And maybe that's not an employee only, maybe it's a partner, maybe it's a strategic partner, maybe it's you know, getting a board of advisors, but really embracing collaboration is key because you can't do it alone. So those would be my top 3 things. You are a creator, you will fail, embrace it, and understand how to foster collaboration with others.
So Teneshia, tell everyone how they can find you, and then finally tell us the wonderful discount that you're offering to the people that are watching.
All right. So my Twitter handle is at Teneshia J. Warner. So you can find me there, or you can find me on Facebook under Teneshia Jackson Warner. And then how you get involved with the Dream Project is dreamprojectonline.com. And we are extremely excited to actually partner with Dr. Renee, and we're offering Dr. Renee's community a 10% discount. So following this, she's going to share with her community a flyer that has a special discount code for the Dr. Renee community. And we want to see you there. Get there. Like, why not? Why not? This is the year to create, and I want to see you there.
Okay, so I'm going to try and show. Here's the flyer. I've never tried screen share before, so we're just going to do this for now.
Okay.
And I will, but I'll post it everywhere. People will see. I'll post it. It'll be in the link to the box below. But thank you so much, Teneshia. Thank you for coming on a second time. There are only 2 guests that have been on twice. And you are the second one. Yes. So everyone, please make sure you follow EGAMI Consulting. They do some amazing stuff. They have wonderful events because I've been to several. And definitely, please, if you've got to make it to the Dream Project. It's going to be amazing. Don't take my word for it. Just, you know, you can look up Dream 16. That is the hashtag, and you can see all the other people talking about it. You can look at Dream 15 and see all the people that talked about last year. So definitely check out the Dream Project and support this wonderful company that's doing amazing things. They don't have to help us, but they, you know, they're helping small businesses and entrepreneurs. As she said, they work with Fortune 100 companies all year long. So there's still time to purchase a flight. You know, Tuesdays is the best day to purchase flights.
I didn't know that.
Right? Oh, you didn't know? Yeah. Tuesdays is the best day, usually Tuesday morning. So maybe next Tuesday, you'll still be able to get it in 14-day advance.
And try Delta Airlines first, because that's
one of their partners. So yes, check with Delta, because that's one of their partners. Delta's hub is in Atlanta. And this 10% discount, you can't go wrong. And even from Chicago, the tickets were less than $150 round trip. So that tells you, because Chicago ain't next to Atlanta. So for that means to me that flights must not be that expensive to get to Atlanta this time of the year. So definitely, please check it out. And I look forward to meeting you guys there. My sister and I, my executive producer. So everyone, thank you for watching the Ask Dr. Renee show today. I'm so glad we came back. We had a little glip in the beginning because, of course, my technology, but we are back. Thank you, YouTube, because we had a long road there. My last show on YouTube was December 20-something. Yeah, oh, wow. So it was a minute for YouTube. So I'm so excited to be back on YouTube. I'm even more excited to tell you Sunday, we are back on Sunday night, and we will have Delvec Quince, who is one of the trainers from The Biggest Loser, if you watch The Biggest Loser. So we're real excited to have him on Sunday. And so we're going to try and bring you now, this was the plan from January, but we had our little problem with YouTube. But we're going to try and bring you 3 shows a week. So Sundays will be the regular. Mondays will be Music Mondays, and that'll be my friends in the music industry. And then Tuesdays will be Trep Tuesdays with the entrepreneurs. So I hope you guys will watch, and I hope you enjoy. And if you have some suggestions of people, please let me know, and we can see what we can do. So thank you so much, everyone. 9 o'clock Eastern, same place, same time. Talk to you then.
Thank you, Dr.